It seems everyone is wanting President Trump to be more direct in his condemnation of racism and bigotry. And guess what? They're not wrong. Hey, everybody, it's Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you know exactly what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia over the weekend, primarily the big eruption happening on Saturday. President Trump under criticism for not condemning the far-right white nationalist groups marching in Virginia. He was also came under fire a little bit for not naming the Nazi sympathizers and the white nationalist groups by names. And instead, what the president said was, quote, "We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides, end quote," Trump said at a press conference. In a tweet on Saturday, Trump also said that we all need to, quote, "be united and condemn all that hate stands for. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. Let's come together as one." I don't think President Trump really wants to be connected to white nationalist groups. I don't think he wants to be connected to the Nazi groups that are out there. I don't even think he wants to be connected to the alt-right. And when I mean alt-right, I'm talking about those who are absolutely racist, the white nationalist groups. You know, there are many different types of alt-right definitions. I encourage you to actually read Ben Shapiro's piece on the Daily Wire, dailywire.com. It's a great piece about the differences between conservatism, republicanism, the right in America, and the alt-right in America. I strongly suggest that you go and read that because it's a very important piece that everybody should know. The alt-right and the white nationalist groups, the Nazi groups, have nothing in common with conservatism. Absolutely nothing at all in common with conservatism. They have nothing in common with Republicans and Republican ideals. They have nothing in common at all. In fact, if you go back and you read a lot of the alt-right stuff, they actually clash a lot with what conservatives feel and how conservatives feel about this country. Now, President Trump not coming out and naming names, saying that he didn't specifically name these alt-right groups or these white nationalist groups. Quite frankly, there were a lot of white nationalist groups out there. At least it seemed like to me that they all had different insignias and signs and everything else. But Trump was also blaming Antifa, which has been at some of these marches that have created violence as well. And you got to admit, at some of these marches and protests, Black Lives Matter protesters have gotten out of hand and have committed acts of violence. So Trump was trying to give, in my opinion, a condemnation of all bigotry, all violence, all of that. But that's not good enough. And it's not good enough for what happened on Saturday. I don't think Trump was elected to heal the racial divisions in this country, and I don't think he can. Just like Barack Obama, there's no way that he can heal the racial divisions in this country. That's up to us. That's up to each and every single one of us in the United States if we want to heal racial divisions. One person can't do it. One man can't do it. We can't rely on Donald Trump to heal racial divisions. It's not going to happen in this country. But what President Trump can do, and this is something that Barack Obama never did as president of the United States. Barack Obama would always seem like he was playing sides against each other, and I think he was in many circumstances, just like a lot of politicians do. I think what President Trump needs to do is come out. There's whether you agree with them or not, there's a large amount of people in this country who fear that Donald Trump's base is the alt-right, who fear that Donald Trump agrees with the alt-right, that Donald Trump agrees with white nationalism. The president needs to come out and distance himself from these groups and condemn these groups. because they don't hold American values. They don't hold Republican values. They don't hold constitutional values at all. And the president needs to come out and say that he wants nothing to do with these organizations. That's what I would like to hear from President Trump. And I think it's what a lot of people would like to hear from President Trump. Will it make those on the left accept Donald Trump as president? No. But at least it takes that card away from them. If he can go after not only the white nationalist groups, the neo-Nazi groups, and say these groups are not American. These groups do not hold our ideals. These groups do not agree with my vision of the United States. He can also say, and nor does Antifa, nor does all of these other left-wing groups that come out to protest and try to play the race card and try to play races against each other. The president can do a lot of good, in my opinion, if he can come out and say those things. Will it hurt him politically? Who gives a damn? It's time for the president to come out, condemn these groups, and say, here's what I believe, what America should look like, and it has nothing in common with what these groups who marched in Charlottesville think. Has nothing in common with those groups. The president would do himself well if he did that, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. There are a lot of politicians who have come out and urged the president to give a stronger condemnation of the white nationalist groups and the alt-right groups and of the neo-Nazi groups. And also, Newt Gingrich, I just saw this a couple of hours ago, came out and said that he would like to see the president be more aggressive in his speech when he talks about violence and bigotry. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I do think the president will probably come out in the next day or two with a statement. The White House will come out in a day or two with a statement and really push this issue. The president can't get away with saying he doesn't want to name names because he doesn't want to give those groups any kind of, spotlight. President loves giving the spotlight to evil groups like MS-13 and to radical Islamic terrorists. So the president should absolutely come out this time and start naming names. We need to do it, and the president should do it as soon as possible. And for those of you who think that you're being cool by waving the Nazi flag and promoting white nationalism, you stand opposed to the fabric of this nation. You probably don't care. You probably don't realize it. You probably think your way of life is under attack, but it's not. The America and the United States and Nazism has nothing in common. If you want to be a Nazi, you should probably move somewhere else and create your own group. And trust me, there won't be a lot of people following you. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. News Talk, 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. You can follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. And don't forget, we now broadcast the show right here on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Subscribe to our channel, and you'll be notified whenever we go live. Have a great day.